Morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Starting to feel like myself again. Maybe do some cooking today. Cheers. Gonna make some homemade waffles from scratch this morning. I've been craving them all week. But first, check this out. I'm just gonna go ahead and let that all just sink in for a minute. So there's no actual bacon in here. It's just probably a smoke flavor and a bacon flavor. But how crazy is that? My wife and I took our honeymoon in September in French Polynesia on a couple different islands in Tahiti, and while I was there I scored a ton of vanilla beans. Tahitian vanilla beans are like culinary gold and the best tasting vanilla. It's like candy. So because they're so amazing and expensive, every time I use a bean or a half a bean, I put it in this bowl with some sugar and just let it sit there so then I have vanilla sugar whenever I want to use it. Alright, we got all our dries in the bowl. Mix it up. Now it's important, we have our melted butter and we have our eggs, and we want to put the butter in the eggs to create an emulsion. We all know that oil and water don't mix, so butter and milk, which is mostly water, don't mix, but lucky for us, eggs contain a natural emulsifying system that will bring the two together. And typically with emulsions, putting the fat with the emulsifier first, and then the water, in our case our milk, binds them the best together. So butter first. Another thing to make life easier, always put your liquid into your dries. It is way too hard to mix the dries into the liquid. You notice I don't use a whisk, and also this is still pretty lumpy. I'm going to let this sit here for 5 minutes. Overmixing and overbeating wheat flours, not buckwheat, but regular wheat flours, cause gluten to turn into glutamine in the presence of water, which make it stretchy and tough. So I learned this tip from Alton Brown. Just relax, let it sit. We're going to be okay. A lot of those lumps are going to soften up as they hydrate, and we can give it one little stir at the very end. Been 5 minutes. Our batter's thickened. It's risen a little bit. Our leavening agents are working. Got a nice airy batter. Time to waffle. This is like you roasted bacon over a campfire and then you somehow made that into a flavor and put it in this syrup. So a little more effort than Bisquick, way more flavor, better for you. You know what the ingredients are. You can say all the names. Killer breakfast. I'd love to hear what you guys are having for breakfast today or lunch if it's, if you're in Europe or other side of the world. So snap me some pictures, let me know. Love to see it. And a quick tip for all those awesome leftovers. I like to use parchment paper, but you could also use aluminum foil or even saran wrap. And you're just going to cut small pieces and put them in between all the layers. And I can fit about like 2 or 3 of them in a gallon freezer bag. Then you can just pop those guys in the freezer. And you're good. Then when you want a waffle, pull one out of the freezer. I use my toaster oven for 1 full toast cycle, or you can use your regular oven about 350 for 5 to 7 minutes. It's awesome.